Well, I finally did it after 1 year. Hi guys, how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here with a new setup, new camera, new light, new look, and new wardrobe, and bringing up my first video with this new set, which is talking about the entirety of Star Wars. So over the last year, I've watched every single episode of Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, The Mandalorian, and some of the Lego shows, as well as went to Galaxy's Edge and watched all the movies and spin-offs. So, finally being able to do this, I would like to rank all of Star Wars and review each and every one, just with a little quick second review. Just so you guys know, I am going to be going and doing each movie separately, but currently I'm going to go ahead and just review the 16 major Star Wars experiences. Now, this is going to not include the Lego series, Forces of Destiny, the Christmas specials, just because I will be doing a reaction video around Christmas for the Star Wars Christmas special. Galaxy's Edge in itself, even though I went there, I wasn't able to, not everybody's able to experience that. And then the games I am not including, even though it's only Battlefront 2 and Jedi Fallen Order. Again, that's something that people don't all get to experience. And then I am not including the books and comics in this. So, let's get right to the beginning. First would be Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace really gave me a nostalgia trip, being that it's the first movie that I was able to see in theaters at age 4. I do have to say, though, looking back, I do see the flaws of Phantom Menace, and I do appreciate them. Plus about it is the Duel of Fates, while a negative against it is there's a lot of talking and not a lot of doing. I give it a 5 out of 16. Next would be Attack of the Clones. So, it felt very melodramatic and a little boring for me. Although I do have to disclaim that I do love all the Star Wars movies. Attack of the Clones is one of the weakest for me. A positive for it would have to be Jango Fett and the clones, while the negatives would be the cheesy lines like "I don't like sand" and stuff like that. I give it a 3 out of 16. Next, we have Clone Wars the movie. I am going in chronological order as I watched in chronological order. It's a very forgettable but important movie just to kick off the Clone Wars. It was the first animated Clone Wars film animated Star Wars film in theaters, and it's important for the setup. The positive for it was Ahsoka, even though we just got introduced to her and she was a little annoying. It's just great to see the origin of that classic character. While a negative would be it's a very strange story, very unlikable story in my opinion, and I give it a 1 out of 16. Next would be the Clone Wars show. So this is a revolutionary show, and it got a lot of people into Star Wars and everything. Positives are there are some really, really great arcs in it. And some negatives is that there is a lot of jumping around. So there's a lot to keep track of, and it is an anthology show, so sometimes you see stuff that happens before a previous episode or something that happens way far after a previous episode, and it gets confusing from time to time. So I end up giving that an 8 out of 16. Next would be Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite of all the prequels, and it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I remember actually being sick one day in elementary school and watching it about 3 times, where I could basically quote any scene in Revenge of the Sith. Some positives for that would be that the Battle of Mustafar and the Battle on Utapau, the Battle on Kashyyyk, all the battles are just phenomenal. A negative for it, though, even though I don't really see it as a full-on negative, is that it became too meme-worthy after these long decades where almost every line is a meme quote. I give that a 15 out of 16. Next would be Solo. It's the backstory for Han Solo that we didn't think we needed, but we got it anyways. Some positives about it are the train heist in Kessel Run. Basically any of the action with with Han or Chewie with the Falcon and all that stuff. The negative though is, although I did like Alden Ehrenreich, he did kind of come off as a kid trying to wear his dad's shoes, which is kind of sad, for me at least. Next would be Rebels, which is about a family, basically a chosen family, a family by choice that got to basically help start the rebellion. It's one of my favorite shows out of all of them. Some positives is I love every single character in it, even the characters that I kind of don't agree with, I still love. Some negatives though are that the first season is very, very child friendly and it feels like Aladdin. I give Rebels a 10 out of 16. Next would be Rogue One, which is the first anthology movie that kind of set the bar for all the other Disney movies. It's great and everything. I love all the characters again, but a negative would be that you know how the story is going to end. Next would be A New Hope. So A New Hope is very revolutionary and very important to basically film history. It's also the blueprint for what a Star Wars movie should feel like and what a Star Wars movie should be. So, I gotta say that it has great intro for all the characters that we've come to know and love for 42, 43 years now. But some negatives are that it does get some kind of slow points in it that do kind of make it feel boring. Not saying that it is, but it is a 7 out of 16, so please don't kill me. Next would be Empire Strikes Back, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolute favorite. I gotta say that it has great character development on the characters that we were introduced to, and it also just has an amazing story. The only negative is that the movie's become so popular that the major twist in it is spoiled before you even see the movie. I give it a 16 out of 16. Next would be Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is a great way to end the saga, which essentially was what it was supposed to do originally. It is the end of the Lucasfilm saga. Some good points are like the final duel and Jabba's palace and stuff like that. Some negatives are just Boba Fett dying too early, and that the whole ending and the whole spirit of the movie was ruined by The Rise of Skywalker. I give it a 12 out of 16. Next would be The Mandalorian, which is the phenomenal first live-action show for Star Wars. It is a great show with a great story. Some positives for it are the return of Boba Fett, as well as Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, as you can see on my shirt. The only downside that I feel is that there's the major fan base for Grogu that kind of ruins the sense of it. I know I'm a big Grogu fan and Angie's a big Grogu fan, but basically turned him into the hashtag relatable meme. That makes The Mandalorian 14 out of 16. Next is Star Wars Resistance, which is a very low stakes and kid-friendly show. Only lasted 2 seasons. My favorite parts about it are both the finales as well as Commander Pyre, while some of my least favorite parts about it are that you could tell it's very much for kids. There's no killing, but there is killing in the show. It's kind of weird. Everybody either has to fall to their death or die in a ship. They can never get shot, unless they're a stormtrooper. I give it a 2 out of 16. Next is Force Awakens, which is a great resurgence in Star Wars. It's a great introduction for anybody that hasn't seen Star Wars. It's also a great reintroduction for some old fans. The only negative is that it does kind of feel like a carbon copy of A New Hope, which you might say that this is a crazy ranking system for me, because I also give it a 9 out of 16, which is one higher than A New Hope. Next would be The Last Jedi, which is the most original of the Star Wars movies, which made it very polarizing. I liked it. I just gotta say some positives are like the throne room scene, and just all the like Ben Solo backstory, Kylo Ren backstory. While the negative would have to be all of Canto Bight. To me, it felt like a Harry Potter scene. I give Last Jedi a 11 out of 16. Next would be Rise of Skywalker. I could rant about Rise of Skywalker all day. It's an okay-ish end to the saga. I still prefer Return of the Jedi over Rise of Skywalker's ending. If Rise of Skywalker were to continue on, then I'd be fine with that. Some positives are all the Ben Solo scenes, as well as C-3PO has the best lines in the movies. A negative is there's a lot of plot holes in it, as well as a lot of character changing that was really unnecessary. I give it a 6 out of 16. So for those of you who are wondering, the official ranking goes Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, Mandalorian, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi, Rebels, The Force Awakens, Clone Wars TV show, A New Hope, The Rise of Skywalker, The Phantom Menace, Solo, Attack of the Clones, Resistance, and the Clone Wars movie. For all the movies, that is Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, A New Hope, The Rise of Skywalker, The Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones. For TV shows, it goes Mandalorian, Rebels, The Clone Wars, and Resistance. And for spin-offs, it goes Rogue One, Solo, and The Clone Wars. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. There'll be more videos up every Thursday and Saturday. I hope you guys agree. If you like my list, make sure you tell me in the comments. If you dislike my list, tell me in the comments. But please be nice. Remember, we're all fans, whether we like a certain movie or not. So please like, comment, subscribe. And it's that nerd Ryan reminding you that we're all Jedi Masters on the inside. Well, now I know where I'm marathoning next. See you guys in 10 years.